day, everyone. So for today's video, we're going to discuss sampling distribution of the sample mean. Now, before we go with the computation part, let us have the two important concepts in sampling distribution. That is always so called expected value and the standard error. So the expected value or the EV is the mean of the sampling distribution na gagawin natin later, while the standard error is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. So, i-compare natin siya with that of the population mean. Okay? So, let us go with our Excel file. Suppose our population here our population here are the 5 students. So, we are after their grade. So, students grade in general mathematics. So, si student 1, 85, student 2 is 90, student 3 is 87, student 4 is 88, student 5 is 90. Now, pagkuha ng mean, we simply what? We simply get the average. Tama po? We simply get the average of this one. So, we have our population mean would be 88. Or, that is 88.00. Okay? So, this is our mean. This is our population mean. To which it is represented by Greek letter mu. Okay? So now, paano po tayo gagawa ng sampling distribution? Let's say for example, this is our sampling frame kung saan nandito lahat ng possible respondents natin sa ating population. Now, pag gagawa tayo ng sampling distribution, let's say for example, kukuha lang tayo ng dalawang sample from our population. So, our n, small letter n is equal to 2. Ibig sabihin, dalawang samples lang yung kukunin natin dun sa ating sampling frame. Now, meron tayong iba't ibang pwedeng maging combination. Pwede dyan, kung gagamit tayo ng simple random sampling without or with replacement, ibig sabihin, ibabalik mo yung nabunot mo na. So, possible na ang makuha natin dito sa population natin ay pwedeng parehong student 1. Okay? Pwede din naman si student 1 at saka si student 2 yung makuha natin. Pwede din naman na si student 1 at saka si student 3. Pwede din si student 1 at saka si student 4. Pwede din si student 1 at saka si student 5. And pwede din naman na maging si student 1 or si student 2 at saka si student 1. Okay? Though, meron siyang katulad si 1 at saka si 2, pero magkaiba naman yung precedence. So, pwede din si student 2 and student 2, and so on and so forth. Alright? Si student 2 at saka si student 3, si student 2 at saka si student 4, student 2 at saka si student 5. So, pwede po yan hanggang kay student 5. So, how many possible combinations do we have here? So, if we have 5 students here, we simply have 5 times 5. So, those are the possible combinations. So, there are how many one? How many combinations we have? 25. So, we have 3, 3, 1, 3, 2, we have 3, 3, we have 3, 4, we have 3, 5. And same thing goes with 4. We have 4, 1. Alright, so we have 4, 4, 4. We have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And lastly, we have 5. We have 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3. We have 5, 4, and 5, 5. Okay? So, these are the possible combinations na pwede nating makuha dun sa ating sample. Or posibleng combination dun sa ating sample. So, now, what are we going to do? Dito sa mga samples natin, kukunin natin yung mean. So, if student 1 is 85, so, ito po yung grade. Okay, these are the grades. So, we have here 85. So, merge ko lang to. We have here, si student 1 ay 85, and student 1 is still 85. Alright, so the average, or the average grade would be our sample mean. Kasi yun yung mean, yun yung sinasabi natin. Sample mean, kasi ito yung sample natin, di ba? So, we have here 85. So, now, Ano naman pagdating kay dun sa sample number 2 natin, we have 1 and 2. So we have still 85 dito. Sorry. Still 85 dito. Pero ito is 90. So what would be the average? So pwede na lang natin siyang i-drag para makita natin. Alright, and then we also have 85. How about si student 3? Si student 3 ay 87. So we have here 87. And then student 4 is 88 and student 5 is 90. So these averages, itong average na to, tinatawag natin itong sample mean. Okay? Yan yung tinatawag natin na sample mean. Now, titignan natin if the sample mean is close to our population mean, which is 88. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, halos walang nagsakto dun sa ating sample mean. So, yun yung tinatawag kasi natin na sample errors or yung mga survey errors na tinatawag natin na hindi lahat ng nasa sample natin ay tugman-tugma kung ano yung nasa population natin. That is why we are giving ourselves room for errors. Okay? So, you'll do this with the rest of the data. So, if student 2 is 90, alright, so dapat lahat ng student 2 ay 90. Si student 3 ay 87. So, lahat yan ay 87. And then, student 4 is 88. So, lahat ito ay 88. And then, lahat ng 5 ay 90. Then, lahat ng 5 ay 90. Alright, and then, we just copy this. Great, kasi sunod-sunod naman siya. Okay, so, yan. Okay, and then we get the average for each sample. Okay, so we have there. There you go. So, kung mapapansin niyo yung mga averages natin, it may exceed, it may not, dun sa ating population mean. Okay? So, paano po natin makukuha yung tinatawag natin na expected value? Yung expected value na tinatawag natin is actually, talks about the population mean. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung expected value, lahat ng averages natin ay i-average natin. Or kumbaga, yung magiging mean ng lahat ng averages natin dun sa mga posibleng samples natin. Alright, so what we're going to do with these averages is for us to add them all up. So what do you call that? Our formula for our sample mean is that we have the summation of what? X sub I, where I starts with 1 and ends in n. Ano yung n natin? Ito yung number of combinations kanina. Ilang sample ba yung nandun sa ating sampling distribution? We have 25. So, up until 25. And then, we have to multiply it with 1 over n. Okay? So, now, we are going to have the average. So, ang gagawin lang natin, i-add lang natin itong lahat ng sample mean. Okay? Add lang natin yan. So, mas madali kung gamit kayo ng Excel. We just have the average. Para diretso na po yan. We have the average. Or, sige. We have the sum muna. We have the sum of all the sample means. Okay? And then, what we're going to do with this one is for us to divide it with the number of samples we have here. Alright? So, kada trial natin, dalawang sample. So, how many samples do we have in our sampling distribution? We have, how many? Bilangin natin. Alright? Kanina, tinignan natin, that is 25. So, tignan natin kung 25 ito. So, that is 25. And for us to get the expected value is obtained by dividing the sum by the number of samples you have here. We have 25. Alright, so we have to divide it with 25. And mapapansin niyo, our expected value is equivalent to our population mean. Alright, hence, napatunayan natin that the the expected value is truly our population mean. Okay? Next is that we have the what we so-called standard error. So, si standard error naman, so, given tayo ng mean, what we're going to do is, kung natatandaan ninyo, is that we have x sub I minus our sample mean. Alright? So, yung sample mean natin, our population mean, sorry, our population mean, which is U or mu, is 88. So, lahat ng average na to is i-minus natin sa ating or i-deduct natin sa ating population mean. So, we have here this one minus 88. Okay? And then, we do the same to all samples. Okay? And then, what we're going to do is to square this one. Alright? Square this one. We have this multiply by itself. Tama? So, i-multiply natin siya sa sarili niya. So, that would be 9. Okay? And then, that's it. So, isang drag lang po sa Excel. And then, what we're going to do is for us to get its summation. So, yung summation natin, okay, highlight ko lang to. Our summation would be this. So, we have sum of from sample 1 up until sample 25. Okay. So, after getting the sum of all the square of the differences between the sample mean and the population mean is para makuha yung standard error na sinatawag natin or the standard deviation of our sampling distribution, we have the sum which is 45. So, tinotal na po natin ito. And then, we divide it with 25 because that is the number of samples we have. So, we have 1.8. And for us to get our standard error, 1.8 is our variance kung inyong matatandaan. So, for us to get the standard error or the standard deviation of the sampling distribution, we are going to what? We are going to get its square root. Alright? So, we're going to get the square root of 1.8 and that would be 1.34 or 1.34. Okay? So, this would be our standard error. To which, kapag kinompare natin siya sa standard error nitong ating our standard deviation ng ating population, so we have here this one. So we have ito, ima-minus pa natin kay mean, that is 88. And then we're going to have its square. So we have this, multiply by itself. And then we have that, and then we got the sum. And then we got we divide it with the total number of participants or persons in your population. So that is 18 divided by 5 kasi lima yung estudyante mo, so we have 3.6. This is our variance. Now our standard deviation would be the square root of 3.6. So, the square root of 3.6 is 1.89. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, medyo malapit naman po yung ating, or 1.90. Malapit po yung ating standard deviation or yung ating standard error dun sa ating standard deviation. And that's how we have the sampling distribution of the sample mean.